Ciao, 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 six-figure wedding and event pros. Zoe Felici here, business coach for creative wedding and event business owners. How are you? Felici Friday. I am so sorry. I am a couple minutes late. Murphy's Law this morning. Gotta love technology. Never failed me, right? I was getting ready to do my live. I had gotten everything ready, all my notes, jumping on. I went to go do something in the kitchen real quick. And then I'm jumping on here. That way you don't have to see my kitchen. Jumping on, and my laptop reset to an automated update, software update. And now it says it has 5 minutes remaining. So I had to get resourceful, and I wanted to talk to you guys anyway. So I was a couple minutes late, but I made it, and hopefully everything goes smooth sailing from here on out. So apologies if it doesn't, because I am doing this from my phone. Usually I'm so well prepared. I'm doing it from my laptop. I also don't have my notes in front of me because I have to do it from my phone, and all my notes are on my laptop that I had prepared. But I know this information up and down, left and right. So I know I can share a tad bit of knowledge with you and give you some golden opportunities and some golden nuggets regardless. So let's get started. Let's get right to it. As you guys are jumping on, do say hello. I don't know if I can see your comments from the phone, but I'll do my best to jump back and forth. And if I get disconnected, I'll just come right back on. I keep looking at my laptop here because it keeps updating me, but I'll stop doing that and stay focused with you guys. Okay. So let's talk about what is happening with your About page. So raise of hands, how many of you guys have, oh, hi, Rose, good to see you. How many of you guys have an About page on your website, right? Everyone, right? Everyone should have an about us, about me, about you, something about the company, or you guys as individuals, and everybody has that on your website. So that is really key number one. And what I noticed when I was getting into this business, when I started my own business, is it is the hardest thing to write about ourselves, right? Like, oh, what am I good at? So you start maybe going to someone else's website. Oh, I like what they wrote. And now you start modeling your About page based on someone else who could or could not be your competitor, right? And so now what happens is, if you've done that, you're really kind of paraphrasing or trying to bring your spice and your element into what someone else has said and done. And now your About page really looks very, very similar to someone else's. Chances are that's the case. And I know this only because if you guys have been following me for a while, you do know this. But for those of you that are new, I own a blog. I have another company, which is a wedding blog. And it's called SantaBarbaraWedding.com. You can go check it out. It's my labor of love. I'm very passionate about it. And the reason that I'm passionate about it, and how I ended up getting into coaching as well, is because there is just such tremendous, wonderful, uber talented creatives and logistic people and event professionals in this industry. And we get the short end of the stick, because we are so creative, because people think that we're doing parties, that we're just having fun, and they shouldn't pay us to have fun, because parties are so easy that it really isn't a huge value. But it's not about putting the party together. It's all the other stuff, right, that goes into building an event, putting a party together, helping a couple with their wedding, whatever the case might be, the host, the hostess, the corporate event, what have you. And so with this blog, what I do is I showcase all these talented vendors. I'd like to call them wedding professionals that are in our industry here locally. We live in such a beautiful place. There should be so many more weddings here where we live. And that's what I love to do. I love to boast about our location, everything, the beautiful, it literally is heaven on earth here in Santa Barbara, like no other. I've traveled the world. And I'm not saying that because I like to boast. I'm saying that because I wholeheartedly believe it. But nobody was saying, oh my gosh, if you guys are thinking of doing a destination wedding, come to Santa Barbara. Most people don't even know where Santa Barbara is. And as I started with this blog, what I realized is that so many listings, so when people become a member and pay to be on a listing on the website, it sounded and looked like just like someone else's about page, just like someone else's blurb. And it really, you could have just switched a couple words, and it just is very generic. And and I know these people personally. That's the thing. I know them personally, and I know what their talents are, and I know really what their selling points are. And I would go to them and say, listen, your about page doesn't do you justice. Your listing isn't really doing and saying and capturing your perfect clients, talking about your perfect clients, speaking to your perfect clients. And, that's one of the most looked at pages on your website. So what happens is with potential clients, you may get a lot of word of mouth referrals, which is fantastic. That's a great way to build your business. I also think you should diversify, not just have word of mouth, but from getting that word of mouth, they're still going to go to your about page. They're still going to go look at your website. Obviously, your homepage is your first most looked at page of your website. And then they're going to try to find out a little bit about you, because can they relate to you? What are you about? And if you're not, if you're a diamond in the rough and you're really not showing that off, if you're not as brilliant on your about page as you are in IRL, in real life, with everything that you do. My computer just stopped the whatchamacallit. So now it's working. But if you're not showing off your secret sauce, your superpower, your magic to the world on your about page, because it's so difficult to write about ourselves, you're really missing out. You're leaving money on the table. You sound like just any other generic planner, if you will. You sound like any other generic floral designer. Like, we all strive to be great. We all strive to be the best of the best. But what makes us unique? What is the story that we have to share with these potential clients, with these inquiries that are coming in? Because that's what's going to get them sold on wanting to work with you, because there's some sort of rapport from your about page. So if your about page, number one, if you haven't dusted off those cobwebs since you started your website, and your website's over a year old, you really do need to revisit that. Because if you guys think about it, each and every event is a learning lesson. Each and every client is a learning opportunity. What have you gained from that experience and from that opportunity? And does it reflect on your about page? And then the other thing is you need to set yourself apart. If you're sounding just like another planner, so I've used this example before. If someone can say, I hope so, or I don't care about your mission statement or your about page, it's really not setting yourself apart. So for instance, if I were to say, hey, yeah, I'm an amazing event planner, you should work with me because I'm organized and I'm great at logistics and I'm good with people. Well, that client's going to be like, well, I would hope so. You're an event planner. You better be organized. You better be good at logistics, and you better be great with people. If I say, oh yeah, I have a great eye for design. Well, I hope so. You're a designer. You should have a great eye for design. Does that make sense? So you can't have it generic that way. And also, you don't want to get too crazy. If people can say, I don't care. For instance, if I say, oh, yeah, I speak 6 languages, that's why you should hire me as a planner, they're going to say, I don't care that you speak 6 languages. I'm not here to get lessons in how to speak French, right? So it has to be a balance of the two. And I'm looking over here now because I actually got my computer up and running, and I want to make sure I have my notes. So what the about page does is a couple things. For those that are word of mouth referrals, it is going to get them to attach to you, to understand your story, to want to be your friend, if you will. It's kind of like a dating profile. If you look at someone's dating profile, if you're single or if you've ever done that, I'm sorry, it sucks. But, there has to be that glimmer of something that is going to want you to swipe right, if you will, right? So that's the same idea with your about page. Is there something telling about your story? So you want to tell your story on your about page, because that's what's going to get someone to click, swipe right, if you will, to want to set up a call with you. The other thing it does is it weeds out those looky lures, because if you get a lot of your referrals or your business from listings, you want to set yourself apart. Because if you think about, especially Wedding Wire and the Knot, Bark, music or gig masters, you're alongside like dozens of other wedding and event professionals. So if you're about, or your blurb sounds just like the other planners, you're not setting yourself apart. And those companies, those platforms, they want more. So now you're just a little itty bitty little fish in a huge pond. And ultimately, you're not setting yourself apart from others. And most importantly, you're not telling your story. You're not showcasing your very unique qualities that someone may not know they are looking for. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying by that is these potential clients may not know that they're looking for a particular quality you have, but they read it and they're like, oh my God, that's totally what I'm looking for. So it's just like, I love my food analogies. It's just like maybe you're on vacation, or I know this happens in Europe a lot. I don't know if it's prominent in all areas here in the US, but restaurants that have their menu outside of the restaurant, so you can walk by and see what their menu looks like, and decide if you want to go eat there or not. So you don't have to go sit at the table and look at the menu for the first time. So it really creates this appetite, if you will, this craving, this solidifies your decision to say, oh yeah, this is the restaurant. That's exactly what I'm hungry for. And it may be a dish, right? A particular menu item that's on there that you're like, ooh, that sounds good. Let's eat here. That's exactly what your about page should do for these potential clients. So what do you need to do? And this is where people miss out on creating this amazing about page, is they miss out on the 5 things that your about page needs to have to be irresistible and conquer those inquiries. Get rid of those looky lures and really solidify that potential piece of business before they even talk to you. So there's 5 things that you need to conquer, or 5 things you need to do in your about page. And if you guys are listening right now and you want to know what those are, because I'm not going to share them with you on this live, I will definitely send you my one-sheeter, my freebie. Just message me, send me a private message here on Facebook, and I will share it with you as far as what are those 5 things? What is that formula, if you will, to create an irresistible about page? And there's 5 things that needs to happen. And then there's case studies attached to that as well. So just private message me right here on Facebook to get a hold of those, so you can work on your about page and dust it off. So like I said, everyone needs to have an about page. It's the second most looked at page on your website. I gave you the reasons why. It really needs to create this appetite of people saying, I'm hungry to work with that person for these reasons. And the problem is that most about pages don't stand out. They're just similar to other vendors about page. It's a cookie cutter. It's a huge mistake. It's a formula that doesn't work. It doesn't set you apart. It's hard to write about yourself. So this is what you need to overcome, because you might feel like you're boasting about yourself, or you're showing off and you're shy and you don't want to. So by doing these 5 things, it will get you to not feel like you're boasting and truly tell your story. And then the third issue is, and why most about pages kind of aren't that amazing, is because you lack, and this is the most important, you lack clarity of who your perfect client is, and you're not talking to them specifically. So they don't connect with you, and they don't connect with you on a deeper level, and they cannot relate to your brand, your vision, your goals, because you're making this generic about page to anyone, anything. The simplest way to say it is, for instance, if you are a planner and you do both corporate and weddings, how do you talk to each group based on what their needs are, based on what they're hungry for, if you will, right? Their pain points, because you do need to be different. You're going to talk to a couple very, very differently than you are going to talk to an HR person who's putting on a corporate event together. So how, you need to be able to speak to both on your about page and build your website that way, but you want to make sure that you're connecting with them on a deeper level so that they can relate to your vision and goals. Because once you know exactly who your perfect client is, it's so much easier to tell that story and not make it so challenging and difficult, and give you a beautiful, perfect about page, which is effective, because that's what it should be. It should be effective. The whole purpose of the about page is to get people on the phone, to get them to talk to you, to find out what their event is about, if you can help them. And an amazing about page that leads, it's a lead generating machine to get people on the phone. That's the only function of the about page, is for it make it enticing, appetizing for someone to want to call you. And here's 3 questions to address that your about page should have. 3 components is answering those essential questions: who, what, why, when, where, and how, right? And the most important is how. And then share your unique identity. I've talked about that. Have that secret sauce, have that specialty ingredient, if you will. Back to the food thing. I'm hungry. It's almost lunchtime. And be able to tell your story and make it feel natural, so that you're not boasting. So you're not saying, oh, I'm the best DJ company in the world. Oh, I'm the best planner. I've been, best planner in my town for the last 10 years. You're not telling them the other stuff, the who, what, when, where. Yeah, those things, right? So you want to be able to tell your story that way. So couple things. Look at your about page. You guys, you got to dust off the cobwebs if you haven't in a while, especially now. Clients are looking, couples, corporate events, they're looking for so much more certainty, especially as things are opening up, because if they don't have certainty in you, they're just going to glaze over you onto someone else. So you want to make sure that you're addressing some of those pain points, concerns, post-COVID, what's going on, what have you learned, but make sure that you're telling that story. Dust off those cobwebs. After such a difficult year, this is the time to do that about page, redo it, and make sure that you're, again, I'm happy to give you that freebie. Just go and send me a message on my Facebook private messenger and get to it. Make sure you're giving that ingredient, that recipe for why they are the perfect pairing for your magic sauce. You like that? Them being the client. Why is this a perfect pairing, a perfect marriage between the two of you guys? Share your unique identity and answer those questions. So and once that happens, once you have this amazing about page, you're going to get calls from the right clients. You may not get as many inquiries, because the whole point is to have a higher conversion rate. So it's going to detract those looky lures, the ones who never were, because there's nothing worse than being so busy with inquiries, which a lot of these lead generating platforms do, like Wedding Wire and The Knot, and then they don't convert into clients. Those keep you busy. Those give you lack of focus onto what you need to be focusing on, which is perfect clients. The whole idea is to attract nothing but perfect clients, perfect inquiries, and then convert them into perfect clients and have that conversion rate go up. So that's how that about page can help. And once you have it dialed in, I guarantee you that's what's going to happen, because you can use part of those blurbs of your about page in all your marketing. You're going to master your messaging. It's going to be on those other platforms. You're going to be consistent, and it's going to be effective, so that you really are sending the same message, which includes who is my perfect client and why should they work with you? And now you're talking to them directly. You're going to connect with them directly on a deeper level, and it's going to increase your leads. So that's the whole big secret with the about page, you guys. So that's it for today. And I'm happy to share with you guys that freebie for you to work on your about page. And if you're stuck, if you can't even get past the clarity of who your perfect client is, if you have no idea, if you have a hard time writing about yourself, your business, what your mission statement is, if you're not clear on what your goals are, you guys, let's set up a call. Go to zoefelici.biz/apply. Get to the bottom of what is keeping you from building your dream business, getting you to your goals much, much quicker. Because you guys, it doesn't need to be that hard. It is going to be so busy from here on out based on everything that we just went through. If you saw my Facebook Live yesterday about the wedding, I'm not even calling it a wedding boom now. It's the wedding tsunami of 2021. You really want to get all of this dialed in right now because there's no time to waste. These couples, these corporate events, these social gatherings, they're looking for their perfect wedding and event partners and businesses to align themselves with for their event. And they don't have time to waste. They're looking for all the bells and whistles. They're looking for all that certainty, and you need to be able to give them certainty, clarity, and confidence in hiring you. So if you're not providing that to your clients right now, is probably why you're either attracting the wrong clients or not getting any clients or inquiries at all right now. So let's get to the bottom of it, see where your business is at right now. Where do you want it to be? And let's skyrocket over, catapult it over to what your goals and outcomes are. You need to have clarity on those. And that's the key to success right there. That's how you beeline it to building a business that you absolutely love. Bringing in 5-figure events per month, uncovering additional 5-figure bookings per month, and really leading a life that you love, why you got into this industry in the first place. So go to zoefelici.biz/apply. Let's figure out what's going on in your business. See if I can help you get there. Okay. That's it for now. Have a great weekend. Thanks for your patience while I had these challenges coming on. Hopefully you got some great golden nuggets of knowledge in there regardless, because I could teach this stuff in my sleep. And I love you guys. Thanks for your love and support. Ciao for now. I'll see you tomorrow for Social Media Saturday. Ciao, ciao.